wonderful friends, and thank you, Stuti ji, for the invitation to us, and a warm welcome to all of you, my dear friends. Today, we are going to share, myself along with my wife, Lakshmi, about holistic schooling. This whole idea and concept evolved from our own life experiences. Life taught us through so many ways. So today we are going to introduce you to this concept of holistic schooling that we have been experimenting in a school, and we share our findings today. And Dr. Lakshmi, my beautiful wife, and she is my first guru, my first teacher in this lifetime. I was introduced into spiritual path from Dr. Lakshmi, and I want Dr. Lakshmi to say a few words first.
Thank you, thank you. Namaskar, my dear friends. Good morning. We are so happy to be here in this sacred space. And thank you, Stuti, for inviting us. We are so honored to be here in the middle of this wonderful conference. So friends, we call ourselves, or we are called human beings. But somewhere, we have moved away from this being state. And we all have become, most of us, we all have become human doings. So, as human doings, we have become so busy in our day-to-day lives. We have moved away from our essence, from our being state. And whenever somebody is in this doing state, they become like a machine. So when we become like machines, whatever we do, whatever we create, it brings a lot of unhappiness, violence. So even the day-to-day, present-day education system or the parenting, the main approach, though there are some wonderful positive points, but mainly the present-day education system is more left brain approach, logical, and result oriented. The focus is more on the marks. The focus is more on how much success you're going to get in your life. So the result of all this competition, the result of all this doing state like a machine, whatever is happening in this world, we can see a lot of violence everywhere, a lot of unhappiness everywhere. So I just want to share this real story, a small story about a small boy who was very unhappy with his parents because both of them were working day and night. They used to just leave to office early in the morning before the child used to get up, and they used to come back home when the child is already asleep. So the child was very unhappy. This little boy was very unhappy because he was not having that quality time with his parents. So one day he went to his father and asked his father, "Father, why are you so busy? Papa, aap kyun itne busy ho? You're not even spending time even on Sundays." So then the father said, "You know, beta, I have to work very hard because I have to earn so much money so that I can pay your school fees, so that you can study very well and you can excel in your studies." So then this boy asked, "Okay, Papa, what will happen if I excel in my studies?" "You will grow up to be a very great man. You'll become a great doctor or a great engineer. You'll be very successful. You will earn a lot of money. So what will happen if I become a very successful man and I earn a lot of money? So then we can all live happily." That was the answer the father gave. So then immediately this little boy said, "Papa, do we need all these things to be happy? Why can't we be happy now? So, children are very wise. They know the truth that you don't need anything to be happy. You can be happy in this present moment itself, right now. So, friends, what we feel is we need to slowly shift this left brain logical mode to more of soul-based, love-based education system where each and every child can learn about life, how to face life's challenges, how to deal with the emotions, and how to approach life in a more beautiful way so that they can create love, peace, and joy in their lives. So, I just want to share this joke about the small boy. When he brought his progress report home, his mother was very upset. She looked at the progress report and said, "What is this? You got only 50 out of 100. Raju, who lives next door, he scored 90 out of 100. How come you scored very less marks? What is the reason?" So then immediately this boy said, "Raju's parents are much more intelligent than my parents." So friends, I think the future education needs to be more focused on the spiritual science, the soul-based, love-based education. And as humans, we all feel that we are the owners of this planet Earth, but somewhere we need to remember or we need to acknowledge the truth that we have borrowed this planet, beautiful planet Earth, from our future, from our children. So it is our responsibility to give it back to them so that each and every child can experience love, peace, and joy in their lives. So let us all together start implementing conscious parenting and holistic schooling so that we can all co-create a world where each and every child can live their life with respect, safety, and they can all be joyful. We just need to create that sacred space to them so that each and every child can just unfold like a beautiful flower and they can just spread their essence throughout the universe. So friends, let us understand about holistic schooling and let us understand about the role of spiritual science in this day-to-day education system or the future education system. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's really wonderful what you told about heart-based and soul-based education system. So friends, what is missing in our present education system is the soul. There's so much mind in our education system, so much mind, so much of analysis and scientific thinking, and there's a feeling that is missing. There is a soul that is missing. We have become human thinking, and we sometimes are not human feelings. We are not sometimes human beings. Being state is experienced from the soul. So today, let us understand about soul-based education, the principles, and how we can bring it into the current education system. So let me introduce myself, because my life itself has brought so many valuable lessons to me, which I want to share with all of you. I'm born in a family where science was worshipped as God. My father is a physics lecturer. That's how I got this name Newton. You might be wondering why this fellow born in India, his name is Newton, Isaac Newton. So actually my father is so passionate about physics. Newton is my name. My brother's name is Einstein. My sister's name is Curie. One more brother's name is Darwin. And one more philosopher is there, Russell. Bertrand Russell. So it's a scientific family, totally. And what happened is my father told me at a very younger age, don't believe anything blindly. There's no God. I have not seen God. There's no God at all. So for me, science was the ultimate thing in the childhood. So I experienced some kind of trauma in the childhood. I was away from my parents. I was reared by my grandmother. I used to cry for my mother. Where is my mother? I could not see her. So almost for my first 8 years of life in the childhood, I experienced so much of pain of separation from my mother. And what happened is I was so angry at my parents, why they did not keep me with them and why they abandoned me. I was so angry. I didn't know how to express that anger. What I used to do is I internalized that anger. I expressed it on myself. I did not study well. Actually, I have not learned alphabets till my almost 8th year. I rejected the school because I was angry with my parents. So at a very younger age, I become very self-destructive. So by failing myself, I will fail my parents because that's my anger, subconscious anger. So what happened is I became a smoker. At a very younger age, I used to smoke, destroy my lungs. Or I used to drink alcohol at a very younger age. So when I reached my teenage time, it's like my life, highly accident prone, highly temperamental, short-tempered, very violent in my behaviors and words. So this was my life at the time. What happened is 1987, a breakthrough experience has come to me. My father brought me a book. He gifted me a book. The name of the book is Jonathan Livingston Seagull, written by Richard Bach. This book is a novel, and the story of the novel is a seagull which is not like other seagulls which fights for food and all the time having conflicts and wars. This seagull tries to find the meaning of life. So during that time, what happened is I asked myself, several questions came into my mind. My quest began. Several questions first time came into my head. The first question that came to me is, who am I? Am I this body? Am I these thoughts in my mind? Am I the emotions and feelings? Am I the ego or personality or these behaviors? Who am I? So this was the very important question that came into my head. I want to find out the answer for it. The second question that came to me is, what is the purpose of life? Why am I born here? Is there a meaning to this life, or life is just meaningless? As a teenager, I thought initially, before reading this book, life is just meaningless. It's random. We are biological accidents. We are just born through accidents. And later on, I found after reading this book, there must be a meaning to life. There is a purpose for life. We need to find out what we want to do in the life. And the third question that emerged in me is, what happens after death? Death is so certain everywhere. Death is happening. And why do we die? What happens after death? This is my third question. The fourth one is there life before? Is reincarnation true? Whatever mentioned in ancient scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Jain scriptures, Patanjali Maharshi, who said about this reincarnation as Pratiprasav, or whether it is true or not. And the final fifth question was, is there any kind of free will to us? Can we choose our realities? Can we make choices about life and create our life? Or why do we experience sometimes like a destiny, some karmic force? It is always propelling us in certain directions. What is the greater truth? Sometimes we are feeling trapped in the hands of fate. What is the greater truth? These 5 questions made me to inquire. Who am I? What is the purpose of my life? What happens after death? Have I lived before born here? And is there free will to me to choose my destiny? So with that, 1987, as a teenager, I secured a medical seat After reading this book, there's a huge shift in me. The hidden potential in me, I started bringing it out. I can say that's the most amazing experience after reading the book. Something is awakened in me. I met Dr. Lakshmi in the medical college. We were classmates in the same college. And there, through her constant grounding presence, she brought so much of clarity into my life. She was like, I could relate with her. And when I spoke about these questions, she already had introduction to spiritual path at a very younger age. She actually helped me a lot. And my second teacher appeared in 1989. I was studying third year in the medical school. And Brahmashri Patriji, who introduced me to the science of meditation, he said, if you practice meditation, you'll find your own answers. I may give you answers, but they will be borrowed answers. Like, you must find your own answer. All the answers are there within you. Stop your search in the world, going here and there or reading books. Practice meditation. He said, 40 days, let your monkey mind be quiet. Make it quiet. Practice meditation. He said, watch the breath. After 40 days, come and interact with me. Not before that. I don't want to speak to you till you practice 40 days of sadhana. Don't ask me stupid questions. That's what my guru said. I sincerely practiced. It was so hard for me. My mind was going here and there. Millions of thoughts were coming in my mind. I thought this is not going to work for me. And thoughts I never thought of, those things were coming into my head. After 10th day, I started experiencing some silent spaces in my head, in my mind. And after 20 days, these enlarged spaces, pauses in between the thoughts, I was experiencing some kind of blissful moments. And by the end of the 40th day, my mind was absolutely empty and silent. I felt so relaxed. So much beingness has come. I could really feel myself as a being first time. So this was my introduction to meditation path, and few experiences I had which in our ancient scriptures we say Stula Sarir and Sukshma Sarir ka Anubhav. So one day in meditation I was away from my body, my Sukshma Sarir was away, and I could see my Stula Sarir. They're like linked through the silver cord connection. And it was so interesting experience. It has altered my perception towards life or perspective towards life. I realized that we are not going to die. The body will be dying. We live and vacate the body here, but we never die. Our soul never dies. This is my first spiritual experience I had in meditation. And few more experiences which made me to study, research more about soul science or spiritual science is my dream experiences. So during that time as a medical student, I never used to study medical books, not much, because I was so fascinated about spiritual sciences. I was studying and I was interacting with many teachers and meditating more hours and hours of sadhana I was doing. So one of the dreams that really made me to understand or research more about it is a dream about question paper. I was supposed to attend for one exam, ENT examination, ear, nose, throat. I have not studied for it. Totally, I have ignored it. Just before the exam, that night, somebody has leaked the question paper in my dream. One of my spiritual guides, he was giving me the question paper. 2 essay questions and 4 short notes. The same, I woke up from the dream, I read, I studied for only 2 hours. I stood first in the class in that ENT examination. So it made me to understand that at the dream, Swapnavast, there's something that is happening. All the dreams are meaningful. Some dreams are precognitive in nature. So I started more researching about the dream. Why do we dream? What is the symbolism of dreams? Why do we get some recurrent dreams? And my third experience is in meditation practice, I started seeing visions. I have recalled a past life memory that happened in 1990. So I have seen myself in the ancient Takshashila University as a Buddhist monk. I was teaching about reincarnation and law of karma in that ancient university. So after this, I knew that our soul reincarnates, it comes back. So in the year 1991, first time I started doing some kind of experiments through the regression process, guiding people into their past lives. So many people, they could access the past lives during that time and verifiable details. For example, one degree student who recalled a past life as a Russian, he started speaking very fluent Russian language. He never learned that language in his life, never exposed to that language before. So it has made me to understand that reincarnation is not just based on some superstition or a belief. It is a fact, it's a truth. And Dr. Lakshmi and myself, after completion of our medical education and post-graduation, we decided our path is to empower, to inspire many people who are actually lost in their ways, because I have seen how I was a wounded child. I experienced complete woundedness of my childhood, and I experienced so many challenges in the school system, where in the school we only look at the academic intelligence or logical intelligence. We miss out the intuitive intelligence of a child. So if I have not come into the path of meditation, I would have really experienced such a hell in this life. I would have really destroyed my own life. So friends, we realized that this is so important that we need to share this with people. So we established first Life Research Academy, then other organizations which are promoting like past life memories and future life memories, and Angels of Earth, and Children's Life University, which is dedicated for children, where we have started experimenting with these spiritual science concepts for including spiritual science, soul science and meditation to children. And they started really excelling. I will share more about it. And Life University, which is like a recreation of the ancient Takshashila University, which is now, it's in the first phase work that at Hyderabad it's coming out. So friends, today let us understand about this holistic education. How we can bring this holism. So we have been living in the old paradigm called Cartesian or Newtonian mechanistic universe. Like everything is considered as a mechanical or machine, biological machine, like how as a human being, we are also like a machine. Different parts combined and joined together, it has formed a machine. But we know that there is something that is whole and complete in us. This holism is understanding the totality, completeness. So even for every child, this is so important. Otherwise, we live in that very Cartesian, very mathematical, analytical model where we see everything from one viewpoint. And every child need to be given this kind of soul science education where they understand the completeness. They view the life from a different set of eyes. It's completeness. So holistic education is not only just conventional model that we have been experimenting so far in the past. It's good that we develop this kind of high academic spiritual thinking, and we could go to Mars, and we could send our satellites and rockets to faraway planets. All this is happening, but still our misery is same. The illnesses are more, and our wars not ended. Still there are people with conflicts. They're fighting with each other. So though we have scientifically advanced, spiritually actually we are still in the backward state. It's so important that now we take a shift. The current scenarios of schooling system, and we see so much violence. Children, teenagers committing suicides. You know the reason why child commits suicide? Because they are compared, they are judged, they are pushed, and they are made ashamed. you're not getting good scores, your other child, neighbor's child is studying very well. So the child is constantly, pushed and, pressurized so much. The child has nothing to, save him. So sometimes they're becoming suicidal and they experience so many kind of fears, every child. In this kind of current education system, it is completely based on the old paradigm of fear-based. You have to logically think and learn material sciences. You need to learn about physics, botany, zoology, mathematics, chemistry. And even if you do not know what is life, doesn't matter. You have to, earn money. Our whole system is fear-based. And whereas a holistic education, it brings holism. It teaches a child how to look at life. What is life? How to be happy? What is peace? Experience of peace. And what is the soul? What is this universe? Many children, they come out of their educational institutions and studies and they're still confused, frustrated. They lack direction. They lack the totality of life. So this is what current scenario of the school, and the world is experiencing the true traumas. One is at home, another is at the school. Family trauma. The children at homes who are beaten, who are scolded, who are disapproved by their elders or parents, what happens is child experiences a syndrome. It's called parental disapproval syndrome, which I mentioned about my own example. Children who are disapproved, who experience some kind of separation anxiety, this creates this disapproval syndrome. Children, they will stop actually succeeding in life. They fail in their lives. They get so many complexions like unworthiness, inferior complexion or superior complexion, and self-destructive tendencies. And friends, this is the current scenario of most of the situation by the children at schools and the families. Even the school, most of the schools, there's so much emphasis on the logical intelligences. We are ignoring such greater intelligence is available or accessible for every child. There are multiple intelligences in a child, actually. One of the pioneering research done by one scientist, he's found out that there are 8 more intelligences, 9 intelligences in a child. We are focused only on one logical intelligence. There is such visual intelligence, spatial intelligence, creative intelligence, and a child has a kinesthetic intelligence, which our current education system is not able to measure it. There's a great intuitive intelligence in a child. So friends, there's so much of comparisons and competition, which is actually making the child go into such rat race. They don't know where they're going. They may be getting so much $1 billion money, but they're very, very utterly sad people. And they have void inside, emptiness inside. This is what is happening right now. I have not met happy children with the current education system, including me, where I was utterly disappointed in the school. And I was actually rejecting all my school teachers because they were beating me. They were more pressurizing me to study and mug up the things. I want to learn in a very different way. So now what is old brain approach is left side of the brain, which is left logical, linear, analytical, mathematical. All that is also important. This is what we have been experiencing. We need analytical thinking. The whole computer system and all that what we developed through this left brain approach is so important. We should not ignore it. But we have ignored the other greater part. It's a right brain approach. Such a creative talents are existing in every child which are untapped. Our current education system, if they include this untapped potential intelligence of a child, which is there in the right brain, it is the child will be excelling. They will be super successors. Actually, is go beyond the success. They will be experiencing complete harmonious development, the entire being of them. So friends, Adi Shankaracharya, a master from South India, all of us know this grand master, greatest master. At a very younger age, he was an awakened being, an enlightened being. And from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, he traveled. He shared all his realizations and findings. One of the disciples asked Adi Shankaracharya ji, what is the greatest study in the world of sciences, world of studies? What is the greatest one? Because there's so many possibilities are existing. Is it mathematics? Is it astronomy? Is it geology? Is it chemistry? What is that greatest science that I can study? Adi Shankaracharya said beautifully, he said, pranayamam pratyaharam nitya nitya viveka vicharam japya sameta samadhi vidhanam kurvavadanam mahadavadanam. He said, if you want to study about prana, how prana is coming into your system through your breath, how it is stored inside your etheric body, pranamaya kosha. Study about pratyahara, how to invert all the five senses so that you can look into yourself. You can experience yourself, pratyahara, antarmukh state. He said, japya sameta samadhi vidhanam kurva vadhanam mahadavadanam. Know what is transient and what is permanent. This body will die, but there is something which is not going to die in you. That is the soul. Knowing about your soul is the greatest study. Atma Vidya, Atma Gyan is the greatest study, he said. Japya samayeta samadhi vidhanam means how to step into a samadhi state of consciousness. Learn about it, study about it. That is the greatest thing. So, the current education system, if soul science, spiritual sciences are included, then it is the holistic education. So friends, looking through the eyes of a child, the world appears differently. If you want to meet God, you don't need to search anywhere in the temples or churches or mosques. We just need to sit with a child, look into the eyes of a child. You will see God there. Purity, innocence, all children are like gods. They just come into the spiritual, this physical plane from the soul plane. They are just being gods. If you look through those eyes, you will understand something very, very different. So they have natural divinity. They are like pure expressions of the spirit. So friends, at a very younger age, what happens is, some of these needs of a child are not met. There are physical needs that are generally met. Physical needs like a food we give to the child and all that. And physiological needs and all that. Emotional needs are there. Every child needs love, unconditional love, not conditional love. If a child is given unconditional love, they feel so worthy, so confident. Many children we see nowadays, very, very low confidence. They have examination fear. They forget what they study. They are very nervous. They are very anxious. So many psychological disorders are happening because these are the emotional needs of a child which are not met. And there are some mental needs. There are some spiritual needs which are not also given to the child. At a very younger age, at home, at school, these needs need to be met. A parent and a teacher has tremendous role to play. So, whenever a child is not meeting these needs, there are going to be some kind of voids that's going to happen. Let me explain through this model the essence of a child. What is the essence of a child? you can see in the center circle, the green circle here, it's called being state, core state. This is what a child is born when they are coming out of the womb state. Very fragile, very gentle, and such a divinity that is existing in a child. It's a being state. And this vulnerable state of the child generally is damaged because the love that is not being experienced, love that is more conditional love, or Lakshmi mentioned about how parents are so busy they don't have time for the children. They are busy in their offices. By the time they return to the home, the child is already sleeping. They miss all the parental love. The first 8 years of life, so precious for a child's development, they need to experience the unconditional love of the parent, at least one single parent. And this forms the holes in this layer, and it forms other outer protection layer. The child tries to survive in this world through survival mechanisms. They develop kind of outer protection layers. The child who was constantly beaten, abused, verbally, emotionally, sexually, all kinds of abuses a child goes through. This forms an outer protection layer. The child will be very angry, very unsafe feeling, not trusting life, all these things. So a child coming into a school, they are coming with this kind of baggage, earlier baggage. All the impressions from our earlier childhood are already there. In the school, what happens is sometimes they're so much shut down emotionally in the heart. They feel so much pressurized in the school. So what we did through Children's Life University, we experimented in a school which is now around 4 years old. Now the school is 4 years old. All these principles are applied in the school. A child is given complete freedom in the school. There's no forcing of a child to excel and no comparison between each child. And a teacher is already an awakened teacher. The teacher understands how to recognize the seed energy, seed intelligence of a child. Every child is born intelligent because the way we parent, the way we look at the children, sometimes we are taking away this divine intelligence of a child. We undermine them. Otherwise, every child is born as awakened, very, very beautiful beings.
So friends, I just want to share this real case study of a small girl who was brought to us. She was around 12 years old, and suddenly the parents observed that for the last 6 months, she's not doing well in her studies, she's becoming very depressed, and she's not at all interested in anything. So they were very much worried, and as we work with children, they came to know about us and they just brought this girl to us. So when this girl was brought to us, when we started just counseling her and started guiding her, she went back to the root cause, to an incident that has happened just 1 year back. So she just went back to that day when she was all alone at home because both the parents were working and the mother was also working as a teacher in a school. And this girl was all alone at home and she was very happy that day. She was just playing the music and dancing and playing, being happy with herself. So suddenly mother comes home and she saw that, this girl is just jumping, dancing with all that loud music and everything is just thrown around. So then mother had some problem at the workplace and she was very angry when she came home. So the minute she saw that this girl is dancing with all that loud noise, in that angry mood, the mother just said, just stop this nonsense. You have an ugly voice. Just don't sing and don't dance. Just sit there quietly. So these are the words the mother uttered to her and she just went inside. And after a few hours, the mother she just got relaxed and she just came back and she just hugged her child. But the words the mother spoke at that moment were so important because for a child, mother and father or the parents are like gods. So whatever they speak, whatever they utter, they just take into their heart. So this girl believed in those words so much that she started feeling, yes, I'm not good. My voice is not good. I'm ugly. So she just took these words, she believed in these words, and from that moment onwards, she started, just going down. And she started feeling very depressed. She was not at all interested in anything. So when we just worked on this and when we helped her, and then again she could connect to that, that it's not true that she's not good enough, but the mother just spoke those words because she was not in a good mood or she was upset at that time. So again she started performing well in her studies and she could connect to her self-worth. So friends, here it is so important because as parents, we all love our children. But the only thing is, we don't know what a child needs. So when the parents know about conscious parenting, they understand about the needs of the child and how those needs need to be met. The most important need is the unconditional love and unconditional acceptance of a child as he is or as she is. So friends, in this creative school, the school Dr. Newton was mentioning about, all the parents and all the teachers, they just work on their blocks first. Whatever blocks they are carrying from their childhood or from their past, so first they heal those blocks. Otherwise what happens, generally we tend to pass on the fears. Whatever fears we have, we pass on those fears to our children. And even the teachers, when they don't heal themselves, they have their own fears, they have their own blocks. So they generally try to project those blocks, those fears onto the child, and it will not really help the child in their growth.
So it's so important that conscious parenting and conscious teaching in a classroom is so important. So in this school, that's what we have witnessed. All the children who are initially very angry children and who are not focused, they're scattered thoughts and their minds are somewhere else. But these children, when they're given all that love and safe feeling, created the wonderful space for them to express themselves, great emotional healing happened for these children. And this kind of conscious teachers, awakened teachers, who are very present in the classroom, they bring such a holism. So friends, in the ancient times we have this Gurukul concept. It's beautiful that we actually in India, we really experience something very, very beautiful. In the ancient times, all the schools were in the nature. Now we have a different nature, concrete jungles, buildings and cemented buildings and all that. Now, ancient times are full of nature. Under the trees, students used to study. Now, if we can incorporate something with the modern education system, we will bring holism there. So, the teacher and the student relationship is completely different in the ancient days. And role of an awakened teacher, I'll be speaking now, who recognizes the seed energy of the child. Because there's such a divine intelligence is present already in every child, and every child is incomparable. They are the unique expressions of divine intelligence. And a teacher, when they enter into the classroom, first they work on their own blocks, as Dr. Lakshmi mentioned, they meditate first. So, purity is one. Presence is an acronym, and P means purity. R means respect. Respect the child. Every child has the divine nature. And energy, with what energy the teacher is actually sharing the classroom, in that sacred classroom. So the fear energy, fear that the children are dull students, they are not going to get good marks. But it's so important that teacher need to really share all that from the love-based energy. And strength, instead of disempowering and passing on the strength to the children, is so important. Current education system, we are only just passing on information. Information can be accessed from the Google search, from the, everywhere. We don't want information. We want really the soul in what we are learning. That's what every student, every child is actually looking for. And E means enlivenment. Is a teacher, is an acharya. In the ancient times, teacher is called acharya. Acharya means whoever is following whatever they are preaching or teaching. Those who are not practicing what they are teaching, even if they pass on the information, it will not have an impact on a child or a student. So an acharya is an enlivenment state. N is newness. In the sacred classroom, you bring so much of newness, new ways of teaching. For example, now we have LCD projectors and new gadgets and modern technology. We can use all that to pass on the knowledge to the children, but in a very new way. And most of the times we make the children we disempower them by giving spoon feeding. Instead, a real teacher makes the child to find their own answers, inspires them. C is compassionate. A teacher brings so much of compassionate energy into the classroom. And E is the essence. The teacher has found their own inner essence, an awakened teacher. This is called, I call it as a presence. If a teacher is completely present in the classroom with all these qualities, they bring something very beautiful in that sacred space. And so the principles of holistic schooling is to bring both left brain approach and right brain approach, both together. We need logical, scientific thinking also. At the same time, we need the higher intuitive or spiritual intelligence. We all know about intelligence quotient, IQ, which is measured by schools now, but there is emotional intelligence, EQ. There is a spiritual intelligence, it's called SQ, which is so great, 99%, which is neglected by our current education system. The future of this education system is we embrace the spiritual intelligence. And it is based on both soul sciences and material sciences. We learn every child needs to play, have a lot of play time, and they need to really play with plants and trees and all that. And also highly creative fine arts. They need to be really excellent in fine arts. Every child below 5 years age, they can learn 10 languages. If we try to learn a new language after our teenage time, our neuronal cells are shut down completely. We can't learn new language. It takes many, many years. For below 5 years age, a child can pick up 10 languages very, very effortlessly. So that is the capacity of a child. Highly creative every child is. In the current education system, the focus needs to be shifted from only logical intelligence, introducing them to the concept of meditation practice, silent spaces in the classroom, and intuition, encouraging them to open up their heart space and intuitively connect with the answers. So the soul science, the foundation of it is meditation, science of meditation. So the impact of this holistic education, schooling, on the future of humanity, we will not see wars, conflicts, violence, terrorists. All this will be eliminated. Because the biggest source or the roots that we find of the violence is born from the home and the schools. The children who are failing, who are going through a lot of frustration, anger issues, they don't know what to do with that anger. They go on, they act out all that. Whatever they received, they give it out to the society. They become very violent. All those violent people, they need more compassion and love, because that's what they missed. Lot of unconditional love, if it is given to every child, we find a different future. And the future of education changes completely when we incorporate this soul science and meditation. So I end today with this what I have found out through my own meditation practice. which we are trying to bring into the school system. And we have seen the children, how amazingly they are growing with complete freedom. They are so interested to study. Otherwise, children are all the time be pushed. They are pushed into the classroom. They forcibly sent to the schools. But these children, they themselves come to the teachers and say, please, we want more classes, want to study this. They find their own answers. They show so much interest because they're sincere practitioners of meditation. Today morning I was there, Baba Ramdev, Yoga Shibir, and practice, and it's so amazing. This is our very ancient knowledge. Our India is such a very great country. It is going to show the whole world a new approach. This is what we need to incorporate, yoga and meditation, into our current education system. If we can allot 1 hour time for, include the soul science syllabus into the current syllabus, it is going to make such a huge difference, not only in India, but India will show the whole world a new approach. And meditation, when we stop this monkey mind, as Patanjali Maharshi said, Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha, cessation of all the monkey mind thoughts. And when we start meditating, lot of energy we get, but energy conservation is important. We lose this energy, we deplete it because unnecessary thoughts, unnecessary actions, unnecessary words that we speak. Detachment need to be practiced, not to be attached, not to cling, not to crave for things. And intention, the power of intention need to be used, because every student, every child has this great power of sankalpa shakti. The intention, the power of thought is enormous. Positive thoughts will create positive results, negative thoughts, negative results, catastrophic thoughts, catastrophic results, miraculous thoughts, miraculous results. As is your thoughts, so is our lives. So intentions, when we set it, when we make the child realize this, they can create wonders. And meditation, MEDI, is the prerequisites for the rest of the byproducts. T is the third eye. We all know Shiva has a big third eye. We all have. Every child has got. And this third eye can see beyond this physical universe, beyond the 5 physical senses. What these 5 physical senses will give us is only a limited version of reality. And third eye can make us understand the understanding of the whole universe. And A means astral travel, understanding the Sukshma Sarir, or the 7 bodies that we have. Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Vishwamaya Kosha, Nirvanamaya Kosha. So all these koshas are experienced during meditation practice. And T is the thought power, exercising the thought power in our daily life. I is intuition. How our intuition, we discover new things. We find our way, the right decisions we can come at. And O is over self-contact. There is a higher self of us, the divine self, in the higher planes, and we make a contact during meditation. We have an experience of it. N is nirvana state, or nirvikalpa samadhi, whatever names that we give it to it. It is like a milk becoming itself into curd, like an irreversible transformation, because it is the birthright of every human being to be an enlightened being. It is the birthright. So meditation practice will lead us to such beautiful, profound states of self-realization, soul realization. So
apart from helping many parents and teachers to work on their blocks and to just heal themselves, we have also introduced this meditation, this easy method of meditation, watching the breath, for many thousands of schools and colleges. And the results, or the results we got from those schools and colleges was amazing, friends. Children started they started performing very well in their exams and the remembering capacity, the concentration abilities have improved. And before, the child used to read for almost 8 hours and they used to feel very stressed out and they could not perform well in the exam. But after practicing of this meditation, they used to just study for 1 hour and they used to just remember whatever they have read, whatever they have understood, and they started scoring more and more wonderful
Even
marks.
I have experienced this. My memory power is so less before meditation practice. I used to read 10 times to 15 times a book. I hardly used to remember anything. But after I practiced meditation, I used to just read once, that's all. I remembered everything. My focused concentration, I can focus on something. It has these developed abilities really enhanced my capacity to learn so much. And it's the experience of every child, every student that learn meditation practice. So the current education system, we have all that syllabus. Actually, every child, if they sincerely learns this meditation practice, they can complete the entire syllabus of 10th grade syllabus in 1 year. Just 1 year. Such a neuronal capacity that we have with all that intelligence that we have, we can do that. And friends, we have initiated this Soul Science Foundation, which is now launched from Bombay. Our friends today, I want to introduce them to you, to the gathering. Mr. Ganesh and Preeti, can you come just a while? And this is the Soul Science Foundation, which is to bring soul science meditation as part of the syllabus to be included in the curriculum in India and abroad. So as a team, the whole team members are working towards it, to develop the whole syllabus for it, to include the soul science meditation syllabus, part of the syllabus. So I request just a minute of both from Preeti, Dr. Preeti and Ganesh. They are my best friends, and I'd like them to speak.
Namaste, good morning. So we first-hand experienced the inner child work, which is working on your own childhood wounds last year. And though I thought, because I was into meditation for some time, and I thought that my childhood was really very happy and I didn't really have any wounds, I wanted to do it because I am a doctor and I work a lot with kids. So just to see how I could help those kids. But experiencing, just because our parents have those wounds, our teachers have those wounds, and how they impact a child, even if otherwise the child is having a very happy family, I could just experience firsthand that it changed me so much just after doing that workshop. And that's where we realized that we want to share this work with more and more people. So more and more adults obviously are getting these workshops, they're able to work on it. But how do you really go to the kids and how do you give them the best that they can? And that is when we spoke to Dr. Newton, and he shared his vision that right now only the material sciences are there, and in the mainstream schools the soul science is required, and why don't you kind of take this up? So that's how we have started this. We have begun designing the curriculum. I'd like Ganesh to share a little.
Very quickly, since we have to leave some time for questions, every week 40-minute period in school, class 1 through 12, we have a class. Just like they go to study English or they go to study physics, they will also go into a class for soul science. And once in a week, the idea of the foundation is to bring the teachers initially to your schools. Volunteers who would be trained would come to the school and deliver this program. And the curriculum would be different for each grade from 1 through 12. So that's the idea. soulsciencefoundation.org is the website. It is still in the works. Volunteers are working in different parts of the world as well. We have people in different parts of the world under Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi's guidance. They are working on this curriculum. All that we teach in school, whether it is mathematics or English, we are not reinventing the wheel. We are teaching what is already there. But a good math teacher is the one who comes and delivers it effectively. Then math becomes fun. Similarly, all the wisdom is already there with masters, past masters, current masters. We take all of this wisdom, we are putting it in a format where children will assimilate and enjoy and have fun in class. Learning would become a joy. So it is existing wisdom that Soul Science Foundation is putting in the subject called Soul Science that we would love to see your schools also deliver to your children. I will be around throughout the conference to answer any questions. We also have some other material related to Life University lying on the table at the front left-hand side. So you're most welcome. I'd leave the floor for Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Preeti.
That's really wonderful, friends. And this is my last final message that I have experienced both sides of the coin. I know as a child, I went through the trauma, the pain as a child, and at home and at the school. And that's why I can relate with it, how I could come out of all that. And it is so beautiful methods are available, the scientific methods. It's not just based on some superstitious beliefs. It is a very valid scientific research. Whenever a child meditates, they release neuropeptides in the brain. The pineal gland is opened, and their neuronal cells, they can do amazing work. Every child is a genius. So this soul science, the path of self-realization, which is Atma Gyan Shastra, which is introduced right in the childhood, it makes the whole difference. And thank you. And now it is open for questions. And,
Well, Newton, I must compliment you. You have made our day.
Thank
and
you,
Lakshmi, really, it's a wonderful job. Let's give a big hand to both of them.
Thank you.
In fact, since last 2 days, we are searching for the answer, schools for future. And every time we'll be thinking about ICT, computers, and nanotechnology, and all these things there. But for the first time, we have heard that they are not the schools for the future. They're not education for the future. And the element which is missing, that is spiritual quotient. And how to bring that. But my only query is that task is enormous. And we have very, very few people because we don't have the parents that trained, as you are saying. We don't have teachers that trained, as you are saying, how to go about. And second is that I have got lot of curriculum. How to find those 40 minutes for, you say, this meditation and parents and everything. What are you doing? These are all useless things you are doing there. We are so meaningful. Kindly guide us how to go about that. Thank you.
That's wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for this question. And so important now, this is an enormous task in front of us, how to bring it, how to really bring this kind of wisdom to all the schools, how to train the teachers with the soul science subject, because this is called sutra wisdom of the soul science, because all the entire spirituality can be capsulized or given as just a nutshell, as summarized in the sutra form. And the teachers, whoever are sincerely practicing meditation even for some time, they'll be able to understand these sutras of soul science. Because each one, whenever they Trikarana Suddhi, they practice meditation, they experience something very tangible inside themselves. That awakened teachers, when they go into the classroom and they teach this soul science, it's not really difficult. And already we are working on this model where we have trained enough teachers now about the soul science. They already passed through several months of practice of meditation. They have worked on themselves. They have cleared their own stuff and fear energy. They opened their heart center, and so we could see such a huge difference they're making in the lives of children in the schools.
And through Life University, we have trained so many teachers, we have helped so many parents and teachers to work on their blogs and to get trained how to give this conscious parenting and holistic schooling to children. So friends, if you are interested, you can just keep in touch with us. And we have also trained many teachers so that those teachers can come and give this training in the future to your respective schools or to your respective organizations.
Good morning. Well, thank you so much, and I'm so happy that I'm speaking to somebody who has been christened as Newton. So congratulations, and it's my great honor. Number two, talking about engaging the child, as I discussed yesterday also, because I am also a trainer. When I'm come to relate to the child abuse in the classroom, one of the forms of child abuse is neglecting the child. And your dimension to the whole affair of holistic development, how do you think that the neglection of the child will be taken care of through your means and endeavor? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for this question. Negligence, neglecting a child also is very painful for the child. It creates furthermore deeper blocks like deep unworthiness and inferior, not good enough feelings. So even those children who are like not really interested, lost and depressed, and even such children need to be brought so much of time that need to be given to the child in the schools, in the colleges. And that's what is the vision of Takshashila University, where we all heard about it, where all those rural and people who can't access this knowledge, that all of them downtrodden, and these people were given this education system, and how we could see the very great spiritual pioneering institute at that time. So the same thing can be implemented. Even the classrooms, we sometimes feel that these children are not really studying well, and teachers focuses more on the students who are really getting good scores, because these toppers will get good fame for the school. We neglect then these other children. It's so important that all the schools will focus more on these children who are not able to really cope up with all these studies and this syllabus, and that is really the mark, the true indicator that this is really a great, wonderful school. Otherwise it's like we aim for only those toppers, only 10 people for the toppers. 90% of people are still lagging behind in the schools. What is important is focusing on those children. And it's a conscious teaching practices in the sacred classroom. That's what we can bring it into the classroom, into the schools.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for this.
God
Thank you,
bless
sir. One last question. Sir, you have been talking in terms of spirituality with respect to academics. I fully appreciate that, and in fact, we have been having a spiritual 10 minutes meditation class for the last 6-7 years. The results, they have been really wonderful. But there is one aspect where I would like to differ from you, sir. Sir, you talked in terms of unconditional love. Sir, I believe that love has got to be discriminatory in nature. We need to, you say that all behaviors are acceptable. I very sincerely have doubts with respect to that. If we were to talk in terms of Vivekananda ji, he passed through the phase when Ramakrishna Paramhans was not paying any attention to him. He was just, because even a child has, it's not that the entire universe has got to bow down to the whims of a child. I believe that this disciplining aspect, this is so much more important. The first phrase of
Question.
Sir, yeah.
my question is,
Question.
my question is that it has got to be a typical stage, a stage from 6 to at least 16, 17 years, where a child is disciplined. Otherwise, what we will have is, we would have students going out into the world with no notion of discipline, and that would be ensuring that,
No more questions.
Yeah.
that at age of 18, if my girlfriend says no to me, I'm going to commit suicide. I have a responsibility towards discipline, towards respecting others, unconditional love. I would like to have a reassessment of that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And here we need to understand about unconditional love in a right perspective. Then we understand it. What happens is in these formative years, below 8 years age of a child, whenever parent or an elder or caretaker, caregiver is focusing only on academics, marks, or all these things, we are going to create more of unworthy feelings in a child, because we love you for your marks. If you're not getting good marks, we don't love you. We love more your brother. Your brother is getting good scores. So here, what is important is in this pre-formative years, so much of unconditional love which is given to the child, you don't worry. We love you for who you are, not for what you are. Even if you are a failure, we still love you. But we tell you we can help you in how to overcome this state. So we are not really giving the seed of unworthiness at a very younger age. And unconditional love does not mean that you should not discipline the child. There is something called nurturing discipline. The same thing can be told to the child in a very beautiful, nurturing manner. Or it can be told as a disapproval manner, like a scolding and harshly told and violently told to a child. Instead, there can be very nurturing discipline. Generally, when a nurturing discipline is given, children, they really follow it. So there is a slight, demarcation between a nurturing discipline or authoritarian discipline.
Yeah. So as the time is very short and the subject is so vast, we couldn't cover so much. It's about unconditional love with nurturing discipline, sir. Thank you.